How confident are you in your defender's defense? If your significant other, spouse, girl, boyfriend, whatever it is, your situationship, you call it, was your ammunition, how confident would you be in their ability to defend you against the possibility of any potential threat to your legacy? Today I want to talk about relationships, but I want to talk about it in a different way. I want to use bullet calibers because I want to know what caliber of people are you pursuing after, and then what caliber of people are you allowing to pursue after you. Your presentation is everything. Who it is you present yourself to be ultimately determines if whether or not people will approach you, because it lets us know if you're approachable. So I want to talk about different calibers, different types. When you hear the word caliber, type, all guns are created specifically for, or are created for a specific caliber of bullet. So I have a few firearms. I'm a licensed firearm owner. I love guns. If you don't know anything about that, when I first purchased a gun, because I didn't really know too much, I was novice, I was new to it. And I heard this, it's better for you, this is the gun theology, it's better for you to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. And I purchased one because I wanted to be able to protect myself just in case I needed it, and I knew it was better for me to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. So I bought a 22. Here's a 22 LR pistol, or not pistol, but caliber bullet. You know, I bought, I can't remember the gun I bought, but it was a rifle. And at that particular time, I was new to the game, so I really didn't know too much about it. Like, you know, some new people coming into the dating game today. So one of the things that I knew is that it was affordable. That's the first thing. So affordability is extremely important, especially when it comes to buying firearms, because firearms are extremely expensive, like people are. And I'll talk about that in just a minute. The next thing I knew is that it was cheap, meaning the ammunition didn't cost as much as the ammunition of some of the higher caliber firearms that I wanted to purchase. The third thing I knew is that from all that I heard after doing the research, I heard that it was fun. And a lot of us, the same way that I went about purchasing this firearm, I learned that a lot of people, it's the same way that people go out and they make themselves available for dating, or they date people the same way. So the first thing I said is it's affordable. It's what was in my price range and what at that particular time I knew that was available to me. So I had to look within what it is I had to offer, and then I had to realize the availability in that particular category. Some of you date in categories without researching what it is you have available, or the availability of what it is you have to offer, and you date the things that are available in the categories that you presume you have access to, easy access to. The second thing is it's cheap, meaning it doesn't cost as much, so it's not as valuable, and it's unreliable. 22 caliber is not as reliable as a 9mm, which I'll talk about in a minute. And some of us do the same thing. We date things that are cheap, or we engage in activity with ladies, fellas, that are cheap. And I'm not talking about cheap as far as financially, I mean easily accessible. My son came to me the other day, or he came to me last year, and he said, Dad, my friends at school they be asking me stupid questions like how many hoes you got. And he was a little perturbed about that, because my son is a good kid, and you know, he wants that one girl that he can be with for the rest of his life, that you know, high school sweetheart and stuff like that. He wants to do that. So I told him, I said, what value does it add to your life if you can sleep with somebody that everybody else can sleep with? What value does it add to your life if you can sleep with somebody that everybody else has access to and everybody has the opportunity to sleep with? It adds absolutely no value. So any young person talking about how many hoes they have, you have to understand what it is you're saying. First of all, you're depreciating the value of what it is she brings because she's easily accessible. You're saying that she's somebody that's just available to me. If all that you have access to are hoes, you are a hoe yourself. I don't care what we say about, well, when a man sleeps with a woman is different from a woman sleeping with a man because she's emotionally engaged in that, and he can compartmentalize and he doesn't feel the emotion. He just sticks it in, and he can differentiate. Yeah, that's all cool. But the fact of the matter is, you are only a reflection of what it is you choose to engage with. If you sleep with a hoe, you a hoe. So if that is the celebration of your end all after you've done the do with the hoe that you've been with, then that's it. Like I said, you'll never be able to find treasure. Treasure is not easily accessible. Treasure is something that you have to be willing to do. You have to be willing to go to whatever depths necessary in order for you to recover what's been lost. Rediscovering the value of what's been lost in an individual that God has strategically possessed you with the power to love the way that they need to be loved is something that you should be searching for. Because that individual is going to help you to understand how to love you, or they're going to love you the way that you need to be loved so that you can be the best version of yourself that you're supposed to be. So it's available and affordable. And I've learned this, that a lot of people who access things that are easily available to them don't believe they have a right, or don't believe that they can afford what it is they really want. And when I talk about affordability, I'm talking about maturity. Are you mature enough to handle the responsibility of the kind of lady, or ladies, are you mature enough to handle the responsibility of the kind of man that you want to be with? So the 22, affordable, cheap, it's fun. Fun. Doing certain things can be fun, but those things are not reliable and dependable. See, we need people, I'm just telling you, relationships, you need somebody who's loyal, somebody who's reliable and dependable. And I think Chris Brown said that these hoes ain't loyal on both ends, men and women hoes. They ain't loyal because they're easily accessible. They run to the first thing that shows an interest because they have no discipline within themselves to be able to be loyal, to be faithfully committed. Fidelity. There's a lot of infidelity going on, but you have a lot of people who are not like that. So whenever you're going out there, you have to understand, is the person that I'm with, are they capable of understanding and never underestimating the value of who it is they are, regardless of what it is they did in the past. At this particular point, you can only look forward from where it is you are and do better at the point that you're at. You cannot change the things in your past, but you can use them as a motivation for you to move forward into your future. The next one is the 9. Now, I am a firearm holder. As I told you, I carry a 9mm. If you see me, with the exception of when I go to work, because I'm a teacher, you'll see me. If you see me out in the street outside of work, then you're gonna see me. I'm probably gonna have a pistol on me, because I believe in safety and protection. Now, everybody thinks they're a 9. This is the problem. Most oftentimes when we categorize something as a 9, we only categorize it from one perspective or one point of view. We say it's a 9 because of what it looks like. And we never go any further beyond what it is we see in front of us to be able to observe and to be able to evaluate whether or not it's a 9 in all those different areas. Hopefully it's a 10 in all those other areas, spiritually, intellectually, emotionally, not just physically. So anytime you're looking for a 9mm, which is a reliable pistol, matter of fact, police officers, I believe, carry 9mm in their firearms. So every time you see a cop, he has a 9mm because it's proven to be dependable and reliable. The 22, you're going to have to fire it several times, especially if you're a novice shooter and you don't know where to hit people. You can still, this is still lethal. You can still take somebody out with this, down with this. But the probability of you doing that, especially depending on what your enemy has. Notice what I said. Whatever your enemy has and coming at you, if your enemy is coming at you with AR-15 and you only got this, then you're going to lose. Anytime you go to war, you want to make sure that you go to war with the right thing. That anytime you go to war, you want to make sure that you go to war with the right people. So the person that you decide to be with or decides to be with you, the two of you, when you decide to be together, you have to make sure that when you go to war, you go to war with the right people. Because every day being a man waking up is hard, especially an African-American man. It's hard. And we have to make sure that we go to war with the right caliber, the right person, a person who's confident within their own ability to become what it is they're supposed to be, a person who's confident in their ability not to compromise the integrity of their person to become something they're not in order to accommodate the ignorance of what else somebody else keeps trying to be or pretend to be. So anytime you're out there dating, you have to take into consideration, everybody wants a 9, but are you worthy of a 9? Do you possess a firearm, the fire within yourself? I say firearm, the fire within yourself to be able to launch that particular person into the projected destiny, will, objective that they're supposed to, most of us don't do that. Most men just think the woman's supposed to do this and she's not supposed to do that. But the woman is the valuable present and the gift, the prize that God has granted to us, because God said it's not good for us to be left to ourselves, to have to do it, to try to do what it is he commissioned and mandated for us to do within the wills of our own power. But he says here, let me give you the help. She's the support. So she's the gift that God gives us to fulfill whatever mandated mission we know that we're here. And ladies, understand this. Whatever purpose it is that we're supposed to fulfill, that is our central goal and objective. There's nothing more important than fulfilling the purposes that God created for us to fulfill. When you come in, you help us to recharge us, to challenge us to become the very essence of who it is we need to be in order for us to fulfill that goal and that mission. So can you defend? Can I rely on you to be able to defend me, to hit the target, to be able to point out the different ill wills of the individuals in our presence when they come? That keen sense of discernment, do you have that? Can you allow me to see what it is I can't see? Can you be the eyes behind my head that looks behind me? When you hug me and sees, look, I see an enemy trying to attack, and I likewise see behind you. When we hold each other, can you trust that I'm here to defend you? Adam lost confidence, or Eve lost confidence in Adam's ability to defend her. She lost confidence in her defender's defense. And anytime you have to go to the point where you have to defend yourself, especially when you position somebody in a place where they should be able to cover your backside and watch and look out for you, have your eyes and your ears in the places that you're unable to see because of what it is you're focused on, that's what it is you need. So how reliable, how dependable is that ammunition? If she's your ammunition, is she reliable? Or does she make it easy for everybody to gain access to you? Not, maybe you need to reconsider that. Can you trust that he or she, ladies, gentlemen, could defend? Do you trust in your defender's defense? That's the question for today. So if you're pursuing after a relationship, make sure that you seek after God first. Make God the head, make him first, so that when you look at each other, you'll look at each other through the eyes of God and be able to see the gift that the other person possesses that it is you need in order for you to become the person you're supposed to become.